Alright, the first chapter over 7,000 words I'm going to be reading is Little Things in Life by Cabra I-095. Always expect the unexpected in life. After all, life is unpredictable. I don't know who made that quote, but it's somebody. Jeff Manns, a 20-year-old high school graduate, has finally moved out of his parents' home. Jeff's life couldn't be better. He has a job, he's living on his own, the whole world before him, and he has 6 magical miniature fillies. How did these creatures end up in Jeff's life? And what does he even know about taking care of these 3-inch tall fillies? Absolutely nothing could go wrong. I sense the sarcasm and it's not even there. Chapter 1 is entitled Invasion. Once again, this is Little Things in Life by Cabra I-095. 7,000 words. It might be 2 parts. I don't know. I bet it will. Finally! Jeff screamed as he landed on the bed. A gleeful smile spread across his face. He sat back up and looked around his new bedroom. It was clean, spacious, and most importantly, his. Jeff was finally free from his parents and brother. No more be back before 9. No more younger brother whiffing his constant. Jeff, can I use the Xbox? Come on, let me have the Xbox, Jeff. Jeff, I want to play. That's annoying. And best of all, no more sociopathic pets constantly clawing and biting him at a moment's notice. Flying paws of furry fury swiping at his legs and arms had become such a common occurrence that he had stopped bothering to keep track and simply accepted that they just hated him. All pets hate all humans. Oh, God. It was quiet in the room since his friend Brian had left after helping him move the last of his possessions in. Wanting to see the rest of his new home now that he had moment's peace, Jeff left off his bed and maneuvered around the few empty boxes he had used to transport his stuff. Stepping carefully to avoid the occasional Lego he neglected to pick up, he made his way out into the small living room. He smiled and glanced over his few furnishings sitting in the room. A single overly orange couch literally brightened the room, the lights reflecting off the starburst-like color, giving the surrounding area an orangey tinge. Aside from the couch which dominated the room was a small TV on the wooden stand in front of the couch, and a small glass table in between the two. Curious how long it had been since Brian left, Jeff reached into his pocket to check the time on his cell phone. 7:40 p.m. Connected to the living room was a small balcony which he had yet to go out on. Walking towards the sliding glass door, slightly fogged from the cool night air, he paused for a moment as he slid the door open. The cold night air embracing him, causing a refreshing shiver down his spine as he stepped out into the balcony proper. The handrail he leaned on was chilly, much like the night air. He gazed down upon the dull road below. It was a rather quiet night, not that Jeff had any complaints. The peace was a welcome presence over the grating of his parents' nagging, or his brother's constant intrusions. Staring off into the night sky, his thoughts drifted to all of the new possibilities, and the new responsibilities that now came with living on his own. The feeling of such sudden independence was odd and unfamiliar, but he was confident that he would grow comfortable in time. Comfort, however, was still an inconsistent luxury. He was jarringly snapped back into his present by his cell phone, demanding his attention and answer. His ringtone blared louder as the device was pulled from his pocket, displaying Mom on the screen. With a quick groan of annoyance at being bothered so soon after leaving his parents' nest, Jeff answered the call. Hey, Mom. Jeff? Answered a frantic, high-pitched voice on the other end. Are you okay? Did you get all settled in? Yes, Mother, I did. Brian came by and helped me move everything in and unpack. He left about 10 minutes ago. Oh, good, his mother replied. Now don't forget you have work tomorrow, so go to bed soon. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Jeff deadpanned. That wasn't a deadpan, sorry. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Jeff deadpanned. Don't worry, Mom. I'll go to bed when I need to, alright? Alright, dear. Love you. Okay, Mom. And your father loves you too, his mother continued. Uh-huh. Alright, Mom. Love you too, Jeff said, half annoyed. I need to get going. Talk to you later. Bye. Quickly ending the call before his mother could reply, Jeff let out a sigh of relief to be alone with his thoughts again. It wasn't that he hated his mother. Far from it. He just wasn't one for small talk and hated her tendency to call at great lengths on the same topic over and over again, as if she had forgotten that she said the exact same thing not 5 minutes before. Jeff checked the time once more before putting his phone away. With one final look at the night sky, he turned to go back into the living room to catch the 8 o'clock news. Jeff flopped down into the putrid orange couch and got comfortable, for enjoying the warmth of the apartment and missing the coolness of the night air. The remote control was sitting on the far end of the table, which he begrudgingly got back off the couch to retrieve. Pressing the large red button on the top, the television came to life and cycled through various sounds of different shows and static before settling on the news. Let's see what craziness the world's gotten into today, he thought to himself. A man in a blue suit sitting at the news desk was speaking. Police captured the robber, finding him 2 blocks away from the scene of the crime. Other news, scientists have discovered odd anomalies. Sorry, I know that word is just... I'm kind of tired. I'm always tired. Screw it. In the lower atmosphere above California, a representative of NASA has released a statement that the anomalies are being caused by a minor solar flare and are nothing to be concerned about. Even so, some citizens are stocking supplies of food and water in fear of a greater danger. Atmospheric anomalies? What's the worst that could happen? Cotton candy clouds? Or at the end of the world? Again? Don't jinx it, Discord will be there in about a minute. Jeff changed the channel before the anchor could say anything else. After flipping through a few more channels, Jeff grew bored and decided maybe bed wasn't such a bad idea. He shut off the television and tossed the remote aside. After some standard preparations for bed, Jeff walked into his bedroom. He shut off the light standing upon his nightstand and rolled over to face the window. He lay there for a moment until his eyes shut on him. Before he knew it, he was asleep. Golden rays filtered in through a large stained glass window, painting the room with a multitude of colors. A white alicorn sat by a large marble fireplace, attempting to relax in the warmth of her sun as the colored lights... Oh, so this is not Earth anymore. Across her hide. Her eyes are closed in concentration, shifting occasionally as thoughts race through her head. The tinge of magic and the soft sound of wisping smoke drew her attention. The smoke and dust quickly drifts in front of her and gathers together, coalescing into a scroll of a flash of fire. A golden aura envelops the scroll, seizing it in the air before it falls, and quickly unrolls the paper. As she begins reading the letter, her face contorts in confusion and concern, her eyes darting back and forth across the paper at an alarming rate, attempting to understand what it was she was reading. Satisfied with reading the letter, she set it aside with her magic and summoned parchment, a quill and some ink. The alicorn used her magic to hastily write on the parchment. Dear Spike, I thank you for sending me the urgent letter. I'm on my way now. Stay in the library. Princess Celestia. Princess Celestia set the quill down, and in one fluid motion rolled up the scroll, sealed it, and in a flash of white the letter disappeared. Celestia rose to her hooves and walked out of her room. Flinging the large double doors leading to the hall, the 2 guards snapped to attention at the sudden kerfuffle. I like that word. Kerfuffle. Kerfuffle, kerfuffle, kerfuffle. Picklebarrel kerfuffle, picklebarrel kerfuffle. I'm getting off topic. Not expecting the sudden appearance of their princess as she jaunted past them without a word. Closing the doors behind them, the guards quickly chased after Celestia, but were quickly stopped in their tracks by their princess's magic, immediately understanding her need to forego formalities. They stood stoic as Celestia turned down another hallway towards the main entrance hall. Her brow was furrowed and concerned, repeating the message Spike had sent her over and over in her head, each word searing into her mind. Dear Princess Celestia, Twilight, Applejack, Rainbow, Flut, you need to get here now. Like now. Like yesterday now. Something terrible has happened. She's gonna troll him. That's why she was smiling. She's got a troll idea in mind. The rows of royal guards stood at attention along the main entrance, watching the princess hastily walk by, unblinking and unmoving as she passed. Celestia's grand wings unfurled as she exited the confines of the royal building, taking to the sky with a single massive beat. The last thing I saw was Trixie saying she learned a new spell. She fled in Twilight. Another powerful stroke of her wings angled her towards Ponyville and quickened her speed, her wings fueled by her divine strength of body and magic. Twilight said she would talk to Trixie to make things better, but they didn't get better. Trixie told Twilight to meet her by the Everfree Forest along with Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Applejack, Fluttershy, and Pinkie Pie. I followed Twilight there in case she needed some muscles to help her out. I'm always having to look out for her now. 'Cause I didn't want to blow my cover, I hid in a nearby bush. After that, Twilight began to talk with Trixie. Trixie said this was revenge for being humiliated, and she used some magic spell on them. There was a bright flash of light, and they were all gone. After that, I ran back to the library to write this letter to you. It totally wasn't to hide or anything. Please come soon. Oh, Spike, you're so brave. You're a hero. The airspace above Ponyville was devoid of life. Multiple clouds were floating about unmanaged and with an odd, slightly pink hue. Focused on the important task at hoof, Celestia dismissed the oddity and banked towards the Ponyville library. Several passersby gawking at her unexpected arrival as others looked warily about at the sky. Spike was inside the treehouse, pacing the wooden floor. His teeth were munching on his claws, as he was nervous. A loud thud was heard from outside the library. Spike perked up and raced to the door. "Princess Celestia!" Spike cheered as he opened to the door. "I'm so glad you're here." "Spike," Celestia said urgently, her voice filled with the strength and conviction of a true commander, a voice she only used under the most stressful situations. "I need you to take me to where Twilight and her friends were when they disappeared." "Oh, right." Spike exited the library and waddled towards the Epiphree forest. Celestia in tow. Spike was rambling off the myriad of possibilities that could have befallen his friends, culminating in another hypothesis of exploding twice. Celestia did her best to assuage his fears, but gave something at the double explosion theory. "No pony else knows that never mind." But before Spike could question what the princess meant, they reached the forest and approached the scene of Spike's concern. "There!" Spike yelled, pointing near the entrance of the forest. A large black scorch mark smothered the ground to where the 6 equines once stood. "They were right here." Spike pointed to the charred dirt. Celestia examined the black-stained ground. "Spike, do you know where Trixie is?" "No," Spike answered. "She ran off after she used the spell. She looked worried." "Worried?" inquired the princess. Spike, where did Trixie run off to?" The small purple dragon scratched his scaly head and pondered a moment. I think I saw her run into Ponyville." "Thank you, Spike. Now run along back to the library. I think that Twilight will need someone to watch it while she is away." "Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Will they be okay, Princess?" "I don't know, Spike," Celestia replied. "All we can do is hope." "Hi again, Mom," Jeff said, picking up his phone. "How was your first week in your apartment, sweetie?" his mother kindly inquired. "It was fine. Look, Mom, I had a long day at work and I like to get some sleep," Jeff reasoned. "Look, tomorrow is Saturday. I will talk to you then, okay?" "Well, all right, sweetie," his mother replied. "You have a good night now. Love you." "Yep." Jeff hung up the phone and sighed. What a troll. He looked at the night sky again. The brisk, cool air soothed his body. Jeff moved aside of the balcony to check the flower he'd been growing. A silly housewarming gift Brian gave him as a joke, but one he decided to keep anyway, if only to occupy some of his abundant free time. After several days, the bud had finally begun to bloom, and a sweet aroma tickled his senses as he leaned in close to examine it. Something caught his eye. A small cocoon hung from a leaf. Jeff looked over at the delicate home. The delicate structure wiggled as he turned the plant to get a better look. "Looks like you have a friend." Pause. "I'm talking to a plant." Such a dork. Quickly distancing himself from the plant, Jeff gave it one last look inside as he left the balcony and strolled back into his apartment. He walked past the living room and into the hall, past the spare bedroom and into the bathroom to ready himself for bed. Jeff picked up his toothbrush and set it to work. As he brushed his teeth, Jeff felt a light brush against his toe. Figuring it was just a piece of lint or something floating, he didn't take much notice of it and continued brushing. He spit and filled a nearby cup of water to rinse his mouth. Another warm, firmer touch on his toe caused him to flail back. The cup of water flung into the air, splashing all over the floor. Recovering from the unexpected sensation, he leaned down to search for whatever it was that caused his minor panic attack, and found nothing. "The heck was that? I better not have any rats in here. I'll do, probably nothing." He's a man of great action, this Jeff. Nothing. Zombie apocalypse. What am I gonna do? Nothing. I'll just die. I like him. After spending a few more minutes searching the bathroom for whatever it was he thought he felt, Jeff dried the water off the floor and left, shutting the light off as he did. He stepped into the hallway and into his spare bedroom. Flicking the switch, the room brightened in the many open boxes of stuff he'd yet to unpack, including the black backpack next to his computer desk he was going for. Reaching to the pack, he pulled out an old, worn book. where the red fern grows. Ah, classic. And zipped the bag closed before proceeding back towards the door. As he reached the light switch, what sounded like whispering briefly gave him a pause. He turned around but saw nothing out of the ordinary. With a shrug, he turned the lights back off and walked to his bedroom. Plopping down into his bed and getting halfway under the covers, Jeff turned on the small lamp next to him. He sat up against his bed rest, an extra pillow behind his back for added comfort, and started reading from where he left off. Unbeknownst to him, a small blue figure was peering around the, compared to it, large door, observing him. "What's that thing?" asked the curious little creature. "I don't know," responded another, "but I think it's reading." A purple figure peered further into the room for a better look. "Reading?" questioned the small blue figure. "Reading is for eggheads. Now be quiet, both of you." A small orange pony, no taller than 3 inches, stammered at the 2 miniature fillies. "We need some sort of plan." "What, to kill it? Okay." "Ooh, a new species, let's kill it." A small pink filly jumped up next to the orange pony. "What kind of plan?" the curious pony asked. "I don't know," replied the orange filly, "but we can't let that thing see us. Who knows what could happen?" The small colorful fillies continued to watch and comment about the thing for another 15 or so minutes, trying to figure out what to do as Jeff started to yawn. Folding the corner of the page he left off on the book, he closed the book when the small purple filly clutched her chest in discomfort for a reason she didn't know. That's because he stopped reading. "You're never supposed to stop reading!" He set the book on his nightstand and adjusted himself in bed, throwing the throwable throw pillow, a lot of throws, through the air onto the thrown object's destination, the floor. He yawned once more, turned off the light, and laid his head down to his pillow, racing towards his window. "Ah!" Oh, sorry, that's Flushing. "Ah!" cried a small yellow filly, trying to make some Applejack hick yell. The blue filly Pegasus quickly shut the crying filly's mouth. "Shh! Don't blow our cover!" Jeff rolled halfway over and glanced back at his door, again thinking he heard something. "I swear I'm starting to hear things. Is that a sign of something? I'll Google it tomorrow if it comes up. Strange noises in my bedroom. Google. Oh, God. Now your house is just haunted." The small equines dared not move a muscle until the strange thing rolled back over after a few seconds. "That was close," whispered the small purple unicorn. "We need to be more careful. Where the fuck's Rarity?" I'm sorry," replied the small yellow Pegasus. It's so dark and scary." The orange filly walked up to the yellow filly. "It's all right. We're all here for you." A little smile grew on the yellow filly's mouth. The blue Pegasus groaned. "Can we stop all this sappiness, please? We still need to figure out what to do with this giant, thing." The purple unicorn walked to the center of the tiny ponies. "We could look around," she shyly suggested. "It wouldn't hurt, would it?" How long is this? Okay, 18 minutes. Yeah, agreed the blue Pegasus. "Maybe we could find something to vanquish the beast." The purple unicorn filly turned to face the blue Pegasus. "Why? Hasn't done anything to us." "This is a new land, and as little ponies, we shall conquer it as our own." "Yet," replied the Pegasus, "it can still hurt us. We can't trust it." "I think I'm going to have to agree with her on this." The orange pony walked to the purple unicorn. "Like she said, that thing can still hurt us. He won't, but I guess he can. But that don't mean we don't need to destroy it." The purple filly looked around. "What do you all think?" I think it could use some nicer curtains," said a small white unicorn. "Those are hideous." The blue pony groaned. "We don't have time for this. I say we take action now." "What do you suggest?" inquired the purple filly. The blue Pegasus pondered for a moment. "Let's take a closer look at it." "Are you crazy?" questioned the purple unicorn. "I thought you said that thing could kill us." "True, but everything needs sleep, and that's what it's doing," the blue Pegasus said confidently. "Now is the best time to get a better look at it." "I reckon it can't hurt none," added the orange equine. "I mean, it is sleeping. Besides, we can easily hide from it like we did before." "Well, I suppose so." The purple unicorn felt unsure, but she knew that they had to find out what this thing was. "Wait, weren't there 6 of us?" The purple filly began to count the ponies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. "Where's the pink pony?" "Over there," the blue Pegasus stated. The pink filly was near the edge of the thing's bed, nearing its nest. Other small equines raced to her. The small blue Pegasus practically body-checked the pink pony, halting her ascent and bringing her back down to the ground. "What do you think you're doing?" questioned the blue filly. "You could get us all caught." The purple unicorn came up next to the two. "She's right. If we go, we all go at the same time." The other fillies agreed, and they all set to work. The large bed stood before them. It was massive compared to the tiny fillies. The purple filly walked to the bed's perimeter until she came across some of the mattress sheet hanging close to the floor. "Hey," the purple filly motioned back to the others, "we can climb up this way." Excuse me. The fillies all began to climb the mattress sheet, aside from the blue filly, who seemed to prefer flying everywhere she went and made the trip in some seconds. While waiting for the rest of her newly met acquaintances, the blue filly curiously looked over the strange creature from the air before landing on its pillow in front of its face. The other fillies beginning to converge near the pillow. "Hey," she whispered, "you should look at it closer. It's so weird looking." "Oh, you're nice, jerk." It's mean. The next morning, the sun shone brightly through Jeff's window, warming his face and slowly bringing him back to consciousness. Much to his chagrin, the small noises he thought he was hearing the previous night had returned with a vengeance, small taps and murmuring filling his ears. At this point, he figured he was just still dreaming. He certainly still felt tired enough to be asleep, and seeing as it was Saturday, he had no qualms with going back to it. The sun, however, was having none of it and continued to shine straight into his closed eyes, causing Jeff to roll over to make it go away. "Whoa!" Again with the sounds. Slowly opening his eyes and wincing at the bright light, he sleepily glanced around, noticing small splotches of color through his hazy vision. With a mighty roar of a yawn, he closed his eyes once more to try and get some more sleep. A buzzing sound soon filled his ears, and thinking it was a fly was buzzing around his head, he swung his hand in the general direction of the sound to try and scare it off. "It's attacking!" cried the orange filly. "Run! Run! Run, Forrest, run!" So over the top. The large beast had hit the blue filly, sending her hurtling to the other side of the bed. Jeff's eyes darted open. He checked his hand to see if there were still fly guts. Only a small blue feather was obtained. "What the? Did I hit a bird?" Jeff rubbed his eyes to try and clear the sleep out of them before looking about the bed for whatever it was he'd hit. "Hi there!" The small voice rang in Jeff's ear. He looked from left to right, but saw no one. "No, over here, silly!" The small voice laughed. Jeff looked at his right shoulder, his eyes focused on a small pink pony. "Hi there!" the pink equine said cheerfully. "A beat." "Ah!" Jeff screamed and jumped out of his bed, the pink filly hanging onto his shoulder and laughing like he was some carnival ride. Jeff looked on his new bed and saw there were 3 more splotches of color he now realized were other ponies. A blue one with wings was lying down unconscious, while an orange pony was looking over the fallen blue Pegasus. A white unicorn sitting on the edge of the bed looking back and forth between him and the 2 other ponies. What are you things?" Jeff frantically asked. The pink pony on his shoulder giggled. "We're not things, we're ponies!" Jeff screamed again. "Talking miniature ponies? This doesn't make sense. And you're all so colorful like a box of Crayola crayons." "Stupid ADD, Jeff thought back at himself. "Well," continued the pink pony, "maybe you're just a giant, and you can be like, ooh, can you make a giant cake? I love cake." Jeff was speechless to what the pink filly had just said. Words finally found his mouth. "Okay," Jeff composed himself. "I have small ponies in my bedroom, and they can talk. What else can you do?" "I can use magic," a small one chirped. Jeff followed the voice to his nightstand, finding another colorful pony. This one was a small purple unicorn sitting in front of an open book, the book that Jeff had been reading. She was already more than halfway through it. "Have you been reading that story?" Jeff inquired of the small purple equine. "Yes, I have," she cheerfully responded. "I really like it." Jeff pondered a moment, glanced at the 5 ponies he saw. "Are there any more of you?" "There was a yellow Pegasus with us," the pink pony shouted in Jeff's ear with a volume far greater than something her size could be capable of producing. With his ear now ringing, Jeff was prepared to yell at the pink pony like he would do at his brother whenever he overly annoyed him, but something preventing him from doing so. For one, the pink pony had disappeared from his shoulder. Secondly, he noticed some movement from the ponies on his bed. The white filly was moving over to the orange and blue ponies, the blue Pegasus now in a daze, muttering something about an airship's registry number. This is gonna have to be 2 parts, so part 2 coming up now.